Week 2, Friday, the playground for prayer. Finally, we've moved off the prodigal son and father. This is Song of Songs 1, 2-4, 8 and 15. This is her speaking. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine. Your anointing oils are fragrant, your name is perfume poured out. Draw me after you, let us make haste. He says, O fairest among women, ah, you are beautiful, my love. Ah, you are beautiful, your eyes are doves. Without any preliminaries, this poem opens with a cry of uninhibited desire. Nor should English translations deflect from the erotic immediacy of it. The text actually says, your love-making is better than wine. It is a strange poem to find in the Bible. It contains no direct references to God, prayer, or any religious activity. The relationship it celebrates is outside marriage. Yet it is found in the Holy Scriptures of a conservative, patriarchal society, and throughout history, only 2 other books of the Bible have had more commentaries written on them. I wonder what they are. Some instinct tells us that this song is central to all we seek, and so it is. For it celebrates everything that humanity most yearns for. Here is creation restored from its ancient threefold rupture, the separation of humans from each other, expressed in the severed union of woman and man, the separation between humans and the natural world, and the separation of humans from God. The song is a celebration of homecoming from exile to the original garden of God's great good creating. The woman and man embrace in unashamed, playful delight and ecstatic mutuality. Around them, everything in the garden is in full bloom, and the assault on the senses is overpowering. Fruit is ripe, birds are singing, the winter has passed. That's chapter 2, verse 11. Creation is complete in itself, and at one with the delight of the lovers. Woven subtly through all this, and no less erotic, are poetic allusions to and metaphors of the temple and the Torah. In a way that Christians throughout history have consistently struggled to do, this poem celebrates an utterly positive view of sexual desire as mutual gift in the goodness of creation. Eros here is a partner in the expression of worship, prayer and devotion. It is not to be separated off without impoverishing the whole. Indeed, there is in Eros an energy that prayer and holiness need. We need to hear this. The word sexuality is too commonly assumed to refer to the physical expression of our desires. This narrow definition reflects the preoccupations of a highly sexualized agenda and perhaps an anxious church. The word certainly includes our desire for and sharing of physical pleasure, but it is far more than this. It encompasses the deepest gift and mystery of our humanity as men and women. Our sexuality involves the whole of our being, body, mind, soul, and relationships, not one limited expression of it. Sexuality and spirituality are therefore intimately linked. In Song of Songs, human sexuality is an expression of our life in God. So what we call our spiritual life needs living in, around, and within a positive awareness of our sexuality. Angela Tilby memorably described our sexuality as the playground for prayer. It is where we tumble over our greatest needs and hungers. In other words, it is where our truest humanity is explored and expressed. The journey towards intimacy of any kind is a uniquely vulnerable one. It can be painful, slow, and elusive. I sought him, but found him not. Song of Songs, chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. The song knows well the anguish, loss, and wounds of love. When our search to give and receive and loving intimacy is happening in a culture where familiar guides and supports for human belonging have all but collapsed, it can become for many an experience of wounding, grief, and shame. We need to trust that when those wounds go too deep and the most hesitant touch of a hand is all we dare offer, just as much love is made. So I'm just going to look that reference up. Jim Cotter in Prayer at Night, Cairns, 1986. What is so positively affirmed here is that our faithful expressions of intimacy, tentative and incomplete in themselves, are a participation in what the song celebrates so vividly. Life joyfully, passionately restored and awakened in the fullness of God's creating delight. Jim Cotter again writes, "We are destined to be makers of love, whether genitally or more diffused. God has created you a sexual being. God is at the heart of your striving, still creating you, always pursuing, luring, drawing, never letting go. Whatever your unique mix and measure of sexuality, be very glad. To be a human sexual is fundamental and ordinary and exceptional." To be a human sexual is fundamental and ordinary and exceptional. That's what it says. So, just a prayer to finish off. Lord, whether I am joyful or fearful, whole or wounded, thank you for being at the heart and healing of my most intimate loving.